Hello there, welcome back to the studio. Okay, so how are we doing? Well, it's middle of March and the recording is actually going very well, even despite me taking a bit of a break. Last week, the week before, had 2 weeks off because I was involved in this in a boot camp learning how to place ads on Facebook because I'm trying to grow my audience. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a new song that I wrote and how I wrote this song. I know we've covered one of those before, going through writing a song, but that was a different method. This is more like the most common, one of the most common methods, and it basically involves this, my phone, and the voice recorder, because you always get ideas for songs in the strangest of places, and you need some way of writing down or recording the idea when it comes to you, because I find if you don't record it down straight away, you forget it. And I've lost count of the number of times I've had brilliant ideas and I've not had anything with me to record it or to make a note of the idea. But if I've got my phone, then the voice recorder on my phone is ideal. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try and get all techie during this episode. I'm going to switch over to a screen cam that's going to record the screen, and then we'll take it from there. I'll show you all the bits and pieces on the screen cam, and then we'll come back here afterwards. So hold on a sec, and we'll switch over to the screen cam. Okay, hello and welcome to my screen. And looks like we've finally sorted things out. I've got to tell you, this is probably the 6th, 7th, 8th time I've tried to record this screen grab. I thought I'd try and be clever and use a screen grab, because last time I just pointed the camera at the screen when I did this and it didn't look that great. So I thought I'd get super techie, and as is usually the case, it hasn't worked out too well. For some strange reason, I could get this system to record the microphone okay, and I could get it to record Windows Media Player okay, but it wouldn't record any of the music from my sequencer program, which is strange. But I've had a fiddle around and changed the driver, and I'm using a headset microphone rather than my desk mic, and that seems to have resolved things a little bit. So fingers crossed everything's okay. I must admit, if I could recover all the time that I've spent mucking around with computers over the years, I'll probably be a year younger, but that's another story. Anyway, as I mentioned before, this is about an idea that was recorded on my phone. So what I've done is I've loaded the idea into Windows Media Player so that you can actually listen to exactly what I recorded. So this is what I come up with first. This was the chorus. Haven't I tried to live the right way? Haven't I tried to do what you say? Haven't I tried? Haven't I tried? You can hear the background noise there. I'm not sure exactly where I was. I was probably out in a shop somewhere. I mean, do get some funny looks when you pick your phone up and you start singing into it, but you've got to capture the moment, haven't you? Okay, so now usually I get the single idea and I come back and I upload it to my computer and it sits there until I have a chance to play around with it. But this situation was unusual. In about 5 or 10 minutes later, when I was somewhere else, probably a different shop or somewhere, I had an idea for the verse. So this is the verse. Okay, so that's what I had on the phone anyway, and as I say, brought that home, uploaded it to the computer, and then the first thing I did was to import the sound files into my software sequencer, and get the piano out and work out the melody on the piano. So here we have, if I solo these, this you'll recognise as the whistly bit. Okay, so once they were in, they're both in the same key now, but they weren't initially. So I had to work out, adjust them to get them in the same key, then work out what the key was. Once I knew what the key was, then I could work out what chords I had available to use in the chord sequence. And to work out the chord sequence for the melody, I just played a few of the bass notes for the chords and then created the chords for a string line from them, and also used those bass notes to create the bass line. And while I was doing that and playing that melody, I just got this idea in my head for a sort of rhythm track. Now, I don't know if you remember, there was a company called Casio. They might still be about, I haven't seen them for years, but they used to make these little home keyboards. You could get them all different sizes, from little tiny ones up to quite big keyboards, sort of piano-sized keyboards. And I used to have one, and they were great fun because you had a little drum machine built in that had preset patterns that you could play along to. And I always remember one of those patterns was always bossa nova, and I thought that sort of beat would fit well to this. So when I programmed a basic beat in for it, I used the sort of bossa nova feel with a bit of percussion, and I think it suits the song quite well. So let's have a listen to my starting point then. If I solo those. And we'll move on to the chorus. Listen to the percussion on those drums, you can hear that bossa nova bit. Okay, so that was my starting point, and I don't know about you, I really quite like that. It's got quite a sort of a catchy sort of feel to it. So I thought, well, I'll drop what else, with other stuff that I was doing at the moment, and develop this further. And I want to show you where I've get rid of this screen. I want to show you where we got to. So here we are. This is near enough the finished backing track. All I've got to do to this is I've got to write the lyrics, and I've got to record the vocals. Obviously, you can see here the chorus melody and the verse was put in there, and the song structure at the top, all my drums at the bottom and everything. Yellow is all effects, orange is keyboards, blue is bass. And what I decided to do with this, I thought it was quite good to actually put a link in this to how the song was developed. And if you remember, the verse was sort of like whistled, so I wanted to introduce the song with this sort of idea that somebody's sort of walking along the street whistling the song, and then it builds into the full production. So this is what I've got. Have a listen, see what you think. Red bit. bit of manic piano playing there. Okay, you really get a feel for the bossa nova now. So there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. So it's almost definite to get on the album. Depends how the lyric writing goes. But yeah, so that's another one in the bag, and that's all I've got for you now. Let's head back to the webcam to sign off. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, hopefully enjoyed that song, and that all made sense. There's another one on the list anyway. That video is rendering away at the moment, so by the time you see this, everything will be joined and topped and tailed and completed video. So that's where we are anyway. Next time I'm going to talk to you about songwriting, the lyrics, writing lyrics. I said in one of the past parts, I think, that I was going to show you the lyrics for a song, When You Fall, I think, and we'll have a chat about how I go about writing lyrics and what that's all about. So until then, have a good time. See you soon. Bye.